to help me with the name, the 8th grader who says they have a cat, but they would like a different type of pet. How do you pronounce your name?
You mean me?
Probably. I'm a teacher, so I know better than to butcher. I know better to ask.
Uh, pronounced Citry?
Citry. That's what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to get it wrong. So that's
No worries.
hilarious. You should paint your cat to look like a skunk. That's hilarious.
That would be cool, but she's already black and white.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. My girls and I actually watched a show where someone had their skunking part, deskunked or whatever, and they had a skunk as a pet. And it was apparently like between a cat and a dog. They could play fetch with it and teach it tricks and stuff, but it was like independent like a cat. It was really cool. So. This is equally hilarious. This person is in 8th grade. They have no pets, but they have 5 siblings. I think that qualifies. I think that qualifies. 8th grade dog and a fish. Ooh, 8th grade, hopefully getting a dog soon. Excellent. I was always a cat person until these darn dogs came in and ruined my life. And I'm a dog person. We want a dog. We have dogs. Okay, excellent. I do see that someone's in a little bit of a younger grade. It says 3rd grade. Is that true and correct, or was that a mistype? Just some of our material, just a little bit, will be a little bit more mature, and so I just want to make sure that we're having scholars who are around the middle school age. So I'll leave that up to the parents, but let's go ahead and just try to make sure, that for the most part it's middle school age scholars, just because of some of our material. So thank you. Oh, excellent. Okay, yeah, totally valid. I love it. So they can participate for sure. It's just kind of the next slide that just has a little bit of important information for middle schoolers. So again, you can discern, how you want to do that. So that's great. Okay, go ahead to the next slide, please. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you investing in your scholar. Oh my gosh, Gloria, 20 plus fish. That's crazy. Tanya, are you able to go to the next slide, hun?
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Did it go? There it is. Can you see
Okay.
it?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Alrighty. A lot of what we're going to talk about today revolves around what's called antisocial behavior and pro-social behavior. So pro sounds like a good thing, right? So we have a protagonist in a story, so that's the person that we root for. We have the antagonist, and that's the person that is usually the villain, okay? So people with antisocial behaviors aren't the villain. They are, unfortunately, a lot of times what's called relationally aggressive, AKA bullying. Okay. So the term bullying has gotten quite a bit used and overused. And so the term relationally aggressive. So if you think of a relationship, either a friendship, or you have a relationship between yourself and your parent, or yourself and your siblings, and if that relationship turns aggressive or angry or anything other than assertive, which just means healthy, standing up for yourself, that's called relational aggression. Okay. So aggression you experience in your relationships. So that's a lot of what antisocial behavior is. The first level of antisocial behavior really can be as simple as feeling irritable. Maybe you feel irritable constantly. I know in middle school, I feel irritable quite a bit. I just was like, what's wrong with me all the time, right? So a little bit of that is normal, okay? But if you're feeling irritable to the point where you want to lash out at people or hurt animals or anything like that, definitely let your family know, let somebody at your school know that you think you need some help, with some of the strong feelings that you're having. Do not feel ashamed about it at all, because the great news that I'm going to share with you tonight is you can take steps to feel better and also to do better in your relationships. Okay. And another thing of level 1 is just being excessively rude to others. Again, I think in our society. It's kind of becoming more accepted for young people to be disrespectful to their elders, to people who are older than them, even disrespectful to their own family members. And so that's something that is put on social media. That's something that's on TikTok and YouTube. It's become funny. It's become cool to see how rude you can be to a family member, or a friend. But just keep in mind when you're doing that you are acting antisocial. So you are acting against wanting to be a healthy member of your home society, your school society, wherever you're at. Okay. So that's level 1 is where we see that relational aggression starting. Okay. Level 2 turns into more physical acts of aggression. You guys may know people at your school. You may know people in your household. And guys, it happens. Parents are human too, and siblings are human too. You might have that sibling who expresses their emotions through hitting or breaking things or throwing things. Okay. Again, you want to ask for help from a trusted adult if those things are happening. Okay. If you've gone to them and said, it really scares me when you throw my stuff across the room, or I feel really disrespected when you break things that belong to me, then you want to make sure to have that discussion with them. And if they don't hear it, or it seems like they just don't even care, then you definitely want to go to a trusted adult and talk to them about it. Also, any threatening behavior, if you do this, then I'll do this to you, lying, cheating, hiding the truth, things like that. Okay. And so we're not going to get into level 3 too much. It's a bit more severe. But definitely, if you are seeing anybody at your school or you hear them start talking about vandalizing the school or just doing different things, that's definitely not okay. Okay, so some of these images are a little bit funny that I put up for you. So there's a person who has let their dog go potty, right? I assume in the park or their community. But then the antisocial part is they probably don't pick up after their dog. Okay, so sometimes irresponsible behavior has to do with being antisocial as well. Okay. Alrighty. A thing that I got feedback on, a topic that I got feedback on, that's okay. That was perfect. Tanya, that was perfect timing. You can go on to the next slide. Thank you. Something I got feedback about that in my presentations prior is just knowing a little bit more about how to handle those relationally aggressive people or those bullying type people at school. Okay, so my first piece of advice is always have help. Okay, so bullies often gain their power, or relationally aggressive people, if they're taller than you, if they're bigger than you, if they bring a friend with them, so then it's 2 against 1. So that's called an imbalance of power. If they come from a really relationally aggressive household and that's how they communicate, they aren't going to be open to you trying to be a kind, good person. They're going to see that as weakness. Okay. So you always want to try first to get help. Well, Miss Love, guess what? I get help. And then they meet me out on the playground and they go, oh, I heard you snitched about me. Okay. So that happens, right? Because we as teachers do our best. Your school counselor, your school social worker, the assistant principal, the principal, they do their best to send that message to that person. Your behavior is not okay. If it continues, you will have consequences. Sometimes that person doesn't care. They don't even love themselves enough or others enough to care that they're going to be held responsible for their actions. Okay. So if you have stood up for yourself and advocated and you've told about somebody's poor behavior, and then that person comes, that's called retaliating. If they come to attack you again because of the fact that you stood up for yourself, you don't engage. Walk away from them immediately. Go find the nearest adult and say, I made a report on this person and now they're retaliating against me. That's going to be way more powerful than going up to your teacher and saying, this person's bullying me again. Okay, teachers hear that a lot. And teachers should be more aware sometimes, but some aren't. If you use the words, I made a report against this person and now they're retaliating against me, that's going to be super powerful. That's going to be huge. Okay. If it's a safe situation where it's you and this person alone, or it's like there's a group of people around, you can do what's called de-escalating it. Okay. So if somebody said, oh boy, those pants look stupid, you're like, oh my gosh, they sure do. I decided I'd put on my stupid pants today, right? Tomorrow I'm going to wear my smart ones or whatever. Just whatever. It totally takes, their power away. It totally takes their negative energy and their intent to harm you when you create something funny out of it. Now, truly antisocial people might get angry if you try to make a joke because they think you're mocking them or you're making fun of them, and they're feeling like they don't have the power anymore. So they're uncomfortable and they think you're making fun of them. So again, you have to gauge the situation. If you're around a group of people, it's best to just treat things lightly. You can also just walk away. You don't have to say anything. Walk away, do a quick check to make sure you're not being followed. If you are, get to an adult immediately, get into the middle of a group immediately. That lessens the chance of them being able to, come at you in any way. Okay. Yeah. So the last one, like I said, involve your school social worker, your school psychologist, administrators. Guys, a lot of times they have what's called a distance contract. And a distance contract is where the administrators, the assistant principal, the dean, the principal, whomever you have, they're required to put in writing that this person will not come within this many feet of you, or, you guys are in a learning environment, you're going to pass each other in the hallway, but this person isn't allowed to address you. This person isn't allowed to bother you in your learning environment while you're in class. They're not allowed to bother you during lunch and in the field, on recess, etc. So you can always ask for what's called a distance contract. And so that is enforceable, parents. That is enforceable, that if there is a legitimate need for a distance contract between your student and a relationally aggressive or antisocial student, and that gets broken, administration is legally required to hold that antisocial student accountable. Okay. They're legally required to hold that aggressor accountable. And if they don't, you would take steps, to speak to someone above your principal, but always, start with teachers, then go to the counselor, the social worker. Always show that you're trying in good faith, to go through the channels and let the right people know. If you're constantly escalating everything to the principal, it will probably, to be honest, get old after a little bit. And so there is a hierarchy. Ask the teachers to kind of look out for your student and this other student and see what's going on. Ask the counselor, etc. And then if needed, you guys can ask for that distance contract. And it will be up to the discretion of, the school counselor, the psychologist, the assistant principal, if they can, enforce that or put one into place for you. So unfortunately, it can't be, necessarily every situation, but it's always worth asking, right? It's always worth advocating. Okay, go ahead on to the next slide, please. Excellent, thank you. Okay, so I try not to go too long with me doing a lot of Charlie Brown teacher want, and I want to hear from you all. So this is where, and you don't have to wait for me to say your name or raise your little hand icon, even though I love those. You can just unmute yourself and shout out. So the very first picture will be in your upper left-hand quadrant, and there's a little 1 in the corner. The second picture is with like the little boy with bags. That'll be your 2. The third one is kind of the cartoon, and then the fourth one are the girls on their phones, okay? So what can you guys tell me about the first picture that you notice might be what's called pro-social behavior, so opposite of antisocial? And you guys can just shout out.
Showing affections to others.
Excellent. Affection. What else?
It looks like the girl got like a good grade on a test or a homework assignment, and the other person is proud.
Yes, sharing pride, sharing joy in someone else's accomplishments, not being jealous of them, but being proud of them, right? What else? You guys are awesome. These are great answers. Keep going.
We have in the chat, Mrs. Love, we have interacting with people.
Wonderful.
Sharing,
Perfect.
connection.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much for sharing those. Yes, that connection, that being together, the togetherness. Antisocial is usually isolating, right? Antisocial can be isolation, whereas pro-social is togetherness. It's connection. It's love. I'm sorry for my big hands in the way. I'm trying to close the chat now. So it's actually, being healthier and supporting each other together. That's absolutely right. You also have some other students around, that look happy. So it looks like maybe they had tryouts or something, and they got different parts. And so, and the blonde gal with her back to us, we don't know. Maybe she didn't get a part, right? Maybe her friend that she's hugging got the lead. And instead of, you're so stupid, I hate this, whatever, that's a stupid play, I didn't want to be in it anyway. Okay, those are very antisocial responses because you're disappointed, right? She could very well be disappointed, but she's still congratulating her friend. Okay. All right. How about number 2? What do you guys think about number 2? And do feel free to use that chat if that's better for you versus shouting out.
A little boy helping the environment.
Excellent. Caring for your environment. What else? So it looks like they're helping others. Absolutely. Helping the beach, yes, which means they're not only helping people have a nicer place to go, they're helping who? They're helping the animals, right? On the beach, they're cleaning up after others, coming together with others. Again, that connection, that community, that society.
They're
Okay.
working together.
Working together. Great. Wonderful. Okay, perfect. Number 3, our cartoon.
And
Number
Eliza,
3.
somebody put service in the comments, which is a great thing, right? Like service towards outside of ourself.
Absolutely. Yes. Acting in service to others. Absolutely. That's a great segue. Thank you, Tanya, for mentioning that. That's a great segue into number 3, the cartoon. So what does it look like is going on here? Yep. Feeding others, feeding other people, nourishing them. Ooh, I love that. Donating time and resources. Donating time and resources. Giving food to those less fortunate. Absolutely. Excellent. Okay, and then I'm going to challenge you guys, and I'm going to challenge the adults that are in here too. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 girls are on their phones, okay? And so, sorry if you can go back once more. Do you mind going back to the previous slide again with the pictures?
Yes, I'm trying to get it to go back with the back arrow, but it's not working.
No problem. It's
So
okay. No problem.
maybe hit on that. Oh, shoot.
No problem.
So sorry, guys.
You can cycle all the way through if you need to as
There
well.
it
And
is.
go.
Yay.
There we go. Excellent. All right. So they are all on their phones, which parents might say, oh, that's bad. They're not talking to each other directly. But notice the title of this slide is pro-social behavior. So kids, I want you to teach your parents something right now. They're all 5 on their phones, but what could they still be doing together? What could they still be doing in a community? Yes, they're bonding.
Playing a
They could
game.
be excellent. They're playing a game. Maybe they're talking to each other, right? Maybe they're playing Roblox. Is that cringe? I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if middle schoolers play Roblox anymore, but maybe they're playing some sort of, online game together. Maybe they're sharing. Oh, good. Yay. Some people play Roblox still. Maybe they're sharing funny memes, right? Or funny vines with each other, or funny YouTube shorts, or, they're sharing healthy, appropriate TikToks with each other. Let me tell you something. If 4 of those girls were picking on that one girl, and if 4 of those girls were posting negative social media about one of the girls in the group, you would have one girl looking really upset or crying or sitting away from the other girls, and then the other 4 girls laughing and having a great time. So what I love about this picture is it's not mean-spirited, right? It doesn't look mean-spirited. They're on their phones, they're still sitting together, they're still within human reach of each other, but they're doing something fun together on technology. They're smiling. Great, Ariel, absolutely. And I saw lots of other great comments in the chat too. So thank you guys so much for your involvement. Yep, maybe they're texting each other. Exactly, Kat. That's exactly right. Kat gets bonus points because we share the same last name. All righty, so now we can go on to the next slide, please. All right, here's our official definition of pro-social behavior, okay? Because if we're gonna learn how to cook and leave no crumbs, and you guys can just roll your eyes at me now, okay? If we're gonna learn how to do that, we definitely don't want to be antisocial. Now, understand, antisocial it's okay sometimes. I'm not talking about you're an introvert and you don't like to be around people as much as your friends. That's okay. Antisocial does not mean that you're shy. Being shy is normal. That's okay. Okay, antisocial does not mean that you're an extrovert and you people, and then you're burnt out and then you need to shut your phone off for the night. Okay, that's not being, setting healthy boundaries is not being antisocial. In fact, that's being very pro-social. Okay, so pro-social behavior encompasses acts of kindness, empathy, sharing, cooperation, and helping others. It plays, a vital role in building positive relationships, fostering a sense of community, and creating a supportive environment. Okay? So pro-social behavior, when you think about it, really is at the basis of how we want to be treated. It's how we want to be treated in our households. It's how we want to be treated at school. It's how we want to be treated by our teachers. And I will tell you, there are teachers who are pro-social and there are teachers who are antisocial. And it's very difficult to know, how to get along with teachers who are antisocial because you're nice to them and kind to them and you write them nice notes. And it's those teachers who just kind of seem like they're having a bad day all day, every day. It's a little bit difficult, right, to know how to interact with them because they are your boss in that moment. They're the authority figure and you have to do what you're told, but it makes you sad that they lash out, at other students and things like that. So I see some of you saying that you're really nice to your teachers and you make them smile. That's awesome. That's awesome. So these 5 attributes, they're called, it's like a characteristic. An attribute is a characteristic of your behavior: kindness, empathy, sharing, cooperation, and helping others. So those are all pro-social behaviors. Okay. All right, go ahead to the next slide. Perfect. I know when I've been in sessions, they say, we're going to go into a breakout room, and then I think my brain shuts off, or I quit listening, or something happens. And then I get in the breakout room and I'm like, oh, I didn't write down what we were supposed to talk about while we were in here. Okay, so I wanted to put this slide up and we're going to leave it up just for a minute. This tells you guys, what you are going to do when you're in your breakout room. Okay. So there are 5 different breakout rooms which correlate or match the 5 different attributes of pro-social behavior. Okay. So your first room is kindness. Second room is empathy. Third is sharing. Fourth is cooperation. And 5th is helping others. Now, you might want to, and if you're on your phone, I know it might be difficult, so you might want to write them down with a pencil and a paper, jot them on your computer. What you're going to do while you're in the group are 2 things, okay? Number 1, you're going to discuss the steps that you would take to model these pro-social behaviors at school, in your home, and in your community. So how would you model these behaviors at school, in your home and in your community. Okay. So you're going to discuss the steps of how you can be pro-social by showing kindness, empathy, sharing, cooperation, or helping others in your school, in your home, and in your community. The second thing you guys are going to do is take notes. You're going to ask one person in the group, would you be willing to be the recorder? Or you're going to say, I'll be the recorder. And that person's going to take notes about what everybody else said. Okay. So these are going to be the notes. And then you're also going to designate, it doesn't also have to be the recorder, but you're going to choose somebody from that breakout room that you would like to be a speaker for your group. Okay. So this person is going to communicate with me by speaking to me and speaking to the rest of the group and by letting us know the answers that you guys came up with. Okay. So before we go into breakout rooms, are there any questions as to what you're supposed to be doing while you're in there? Okay, I don't see anything in the chat. It looks like we are good. Were we going to just randomly assign those breakout rooms? Is that what we decided? Or can people choose? I'm good with either.
We're going to let the scholars and parents choose those rooms. So we broke them out in five different: kindness, empathy, sharing, cooperation, and helping others.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nasambi. So we will go into breakout for about 8 minutes. You guys are going to discuss how to model pro-social behavior in your home, at school, and in your community. You're going to pick somebody to record and pick someone to be the presenter who's going to share out. Okay. So when we start, you guys can choose which breakout room you'd like to go into. If one is really full, exit that one and go pick another one. Okay. So you can go on to the next slide. And we can all break out. You 1980s or before that people will know this Atari reference right here. So go ahead and hop into a breakout room, please. Tonya, could I bug you to advance to the next slide just so I'm going to try a little trick and see if it works. It might not, but we'll try it. I didn't think so. Okay. I wanted to take notes.
How can I help you?
Well, I wanted to take notes about what everybody was saying, and I think I'll take some notes and then, you know what? I mean, if you're open to it, if you were Nasambi would like to take the notes about what people are saying, that would be great because then people can actually see them. I was going to take them, but then you'd have to refresh the screen. So it's probably just better if one of you who can access it can take notes.
And when you say take notes, like on the screen?
Right. So you can exit out of presenter mode for a moment and then take notes about what people are saying.
So you want me to just stop sharing?
Right. Right. So we can just take notes and stop sharing. And then once all the notes are in, we'll share them again so that people can see them all.
Okay. You want us to just write them? Sorry, I'm acting like I don't know anything, but
This
how
is
would you like
totally
us to
fine.
do this? How would
It's
you
totally
like us
fine.
to take the
So,
notes?
so if you go into, let me check and make sure that you can edit. Give me 2 seconds. Thank you guys for joining us back in. We're just working out a few of the what's called the logistics here. And I want to make sure that all of your awesome ideas, I heard some excellent ideas in the breakout rooms. And so I want to make sure that those get recorded. So Ms. Tanya, you should be able to actually type into the Google slide now. So if you're on that practicing pro-social behavior, you
Okay,
should
so
be able to
okay.
type into the actual slide.
Slide.
So it should be slide number 10.
Okay. Oopsies. That's crazy. Oh.
And it's totally fine if not.
How
We can just...
how can I type into it? Because it's not allowing me to do that.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Maybe I can. We'll see here. I'll try.
If you hit refresh on the Google link too, it'll refresh your permissions, which means it'll allow you to type in it.
Okay, I think I got it here.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right. Who is our presenter for kindness? Who's our spokesperson for kindness?
Is that me? Might have been me. I think I accidentally did cooperation.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. You know what? We can start with cooperation. Yeah, go for it. So what'd you guys come up with?
Yeah, my kids were here with me. So they helped me come up with for cooperation at home. They said that when we do chores, we help everybody out by sharing the work of what needs to be done in
Excellent.
the house. And then at school, my son said when everyone is listening to the teacher, it helps everyone learn better. So it's like cooperating with creating the right environment. And then in the community, I just had a baby, so I'm really appreciating community things like meal trains that help people survive tough seasons and stuff. So yeah, so the cooperation of taking care of people that are needing it, you know, for that time is really helpful.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great examples. Thank you so much. All right, we'll go ahead. I know we had a pretty big group in, let's see here. I think we had a pretty big group in helping others, right? Helping others was a big group. So what did you guys come up with? Who's our spokesperson for helping others?
I took notes and I said if someone is mad, then you could like ask a teacher. Well, you could ask them if they're okay, or you could ask a teacher to come help them. And if they need help, then you could ask them what's wrong. Another way to help them is if they are sad, then you could like ask if they have like friends, or like you could try and make friends with them. If somebody is sick, then you could like around the house, then you could help them like take stuff, and like you could help them like with the food and like help clean up. And if somebody needs help and you notice it, then you could ask like a teacher or someone who is an adult to like help them.
Wonderful. Those are great examples, you guys. Excellent job. Thank you, Hardin, for sharing. All right, so let's look at our empathy group,
So I'm the spokesperson for it. I apologize, it's a little loud, but I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah.
People were talking about putting others, putting yourself in other people's shoes. It's relational. It's being able to relate to one another, how they're feeling, what they're going through. Basically putting yourself in their shoes and just being able to feel what they're feeling, or allow yourself to try and at least put yourself in their shoes on how they're feeling.
Excellent. Excellent.
And Eliza, I know we had Corinne in our group and she was taking some notes.
Okay.
So I don't know if she has anything else to add.
Great. Thank you. Corinne, did you want to share?
To add on, like if someone gets hurt, you can offer to help them, like treat others the way you want to be treated, and like if they're sad, you can try to like find out a way to help them, and like she said, to kind of put yourself in their shoes.
Excellent. Excellent. Because go ahead.
And just to be and like try to walk alongside them and understand their emotions to try to like connect with them. So yeah.
That's excellent. You did great note taking and presenting. I appreciate your bravery.
Thank you.
All right. Empathy. How about sharing? Did we have, because I know I didn't hear back much on kindness. How about sharing? Okay, so you guys can brainstorm with me right now. What are some ways at school, at home, or in our communities that we could show pro-social behavior through kindness, through being kind to others? And you can put it in the chat if it's more comfortable than just speaking out. Good. Good. So somebody at school doesn't know where a classroom is, and you just brush past them because you're going to be late to yours. Is that kind? Not really. A kinder thing to do would be, oh, you know what? Miss Love, I know her. She's room 23. You just go around this corner and she's the third door on the left, right? That's kindness. And does it really take a lot? It doesn't. I just saw you guys say, um, not speaking ill of someone else, not speaking behind someone's back. As you get into 7th grade, 8th grade, even 6th grade, that becomes an integrity choice. Okay. You're going to hear people say, oh, did you see her outfit? Did you see how she acted? Did you know that her boyfriend broke up with whatever? Y'all shouldn't be doing any of that. First of all, you're only in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. I say master's degree and travel the world, and then you can have appropriate, kind relationships with each other. With the opposite gender. Okay. I'm teasing. So here's the deal though. You guys are going to hear lots of things, some really unkind things about other people. Okay. And so I love this acronym that I'll put in the chat at the very end of it. And it's think. Think before you speak. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspirational? Is it necessary? And is it kind? Okay. So if you run before you have this quick response, I know the blah, blah, and her kicks, you see how old they are. They got holes in them and blah, blah, right? No, before you just jump in and join in on dogging on somebody or putting them down, you're going to make sure that you run that through your brain. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary, or is it kind? And if it doesn't meet all of those criteria, you don't need to say it. And in fact, like you guys are saying, because you guys have excellent parents and excellent siblings and whomever else has taught you to be so wonderful and kind and empathetic, you can say, you know, maybe her family doesn't have money to afford new shoes, or maybe we can all kick in $10, and then if 10 of us give $10, she can afford, you know, a pair of Jordans on sale or something like that. Okay. So true kindness is stepping out on your own sometimes, and true kindness is walking away from whatever the group is doing, and, you know, being a leader. Okay. About being kind. All right. Excellent. You guys have done great. Okay. If you, Tanya, refresh, I tried to grab a lot of these notes, and you might have as well. So if you refresh the Google slide and then share it again, we should be able to everybody see it. My puppy's not being kind, and she was patient this whole time. Oh, look at excellent. Thank you so much.
My notes are very sloppy because it wouldn't go any smaller, but
No, it's excellent. I love it. You guys did a really great job. If you want to take a screenshot of this, you can. If you want to take a picture of this, you can. I was extremely impressed with the walk alongside portion of the empathy. It's one thing to say to a friend of yours, like, oh, that stinks. I'm sorry that's happening to you. And it's another thing to say, do you want me to come over and help take care of your cat for you? Or do you want me to come over and help take care of your mom with you? Or, do you want me to come over and help you with your homework? So, you guys, it's one thing to have that kindness. It's kind to pat their back and I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm here for you if you need anything. But it's another thing to walk alongside them. I thought that was such a beautiful comment. And if you guys already know that at this age, you're going to change the world. Absolutely. Because hear me when I tell you, pro-social behavior will change the world. We do not have to believe that this world is sad and miserable and hateful and everybody's angry and everybody's feels terrible. There's a lot of that, okay? But where that's going to change is you all. Where that's going to change is you guys teaching the adults, you can have a bad day and still be kind to people. You can have a bad day and still have empathy for what someone else is going through. Maybe you're going through a situation that's worse than what your friend is going through, but you can still listen to them and say, gosh, I can't believe it, or I can believe it. I remember last year when this one teacher hated me and she would not stop, going after me and et cetera, et cetera. And you can share experiences that way, okay? But I can tell there are a lot of pro-social young men and women in here. And I am just super excited because you guys are the ones who are going to become the leaders in the future. You guys are going to be the ones who change the way things are because you're going to learn how to speak to each other respectfully and how to take leadership in empathy. And that's everything, you guys. Okay. We are nearing the end. We went a little quicker than I thought, which is totally cool. Before we do, I promised that I would teach you guys some of the current phrases. Okay, now, those of you who already know them, y'all 8th graders, you're going to just like, Miss Love, seriously. All right, here we go. If you tell somebody, let me cook, that means that you're saying, just let me do my thing, right? Just watch. Like, I got this. I'm a pro at this. Let me cook. Just let me do it. Okay. So if your friend's all up in your business, no, let me show you how to shoot hoops, blah, blah, let me cook. Okay. That just means I got this. Let me do my thing. Okay. You guys want to talk about Riz? That means charisma. Okay. It means you have an energy, a brightness, a goodness to you. And other people like that. Other people find you interesting because you have charisma. Okay. So if you hear people saying Riz or whatever, that's what that means, is charisma. Okay. I'm not going to get into some others. And so I just wanted to let you know, some of us adults can hang. In my day, we said that we can hang, we can be cool. So that's okay. My students laugh at me. It's all right. It's all right. You guys can laugh. It's okay. It's all good. It's funny. So, alrighty. So now, last time I did a session with you guys, you had some excellent questions and scenarios. I will say, for the sake of time and privacy, if you have a very involved situation with a bully, with someone who's relationally aggressive, please just have your parent email me and I can try to help walk you through it as a teacher and as a mom. I can try to help walk you through some of that stuff that's going on. But please, right now, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question. I know it's Thursday. I know you're tired. Oh my goodness, let's see. Oh, I'm going to bring up a great comment from Faith. Faith said, maybe if you hear something bad about someone else, speak up and say, that's not okay, and stop. Or just go tell a teacher, hey, they're all talking about this girl and she's sitting right there and that's mean, okay? Or go up to the girl or boy and say, don't listen to them. They're just being ridiculous. Okay. Nasambi says, if you don't mind that I called you out by name, just for kindness at school, have lunch with someone who sits alone and you can make a new friend. And for us as adults, we can bring our oh, that's fun to bring a lunch to work for somebody, or bring coffee or offer, to order takeout or something, and give a positive compliment to somebody. We all need to hear good things. Candace also said if somebody's sitting alone, go sit with them. Portia said help somebody with homework. Candace had said when a new person comes to your school, you can befriend them. And then Ariel said, yep, don't talk about people behind their backs. You can help each other study. Citri, that's an excellent point. You guys can get in study groups and help each other study. And that's pro-social because you're working together. Even if you're on your phones, grown-ups, okay? They can work together. Now, don't you guys use that against me, what I just taught you, okay? All right, cool. Well, we'll do one last call. Oh, here we go. Hang on. One moment. Yep, go talk to people and just everybody deserves kindness. Candace, if you'll hang out just for a minute, kind of after everybody leaves, I want to address that with you just privately, okay? If you don't mind hanging out just for a minute. So, okay, cool. All right. Well, you guys have been awesome. Look I'm even getting you out of here a little early because I know most of you got school tomorrow. You're welcome. Go do your homework. Go exercise some of that pro-social behavior I just heard about. Hey, Mom, you don't have to empty the dishwasher tonight. I got it. I got you. I'm going to show you my pro-social behavior. Okay. You guys can start a chart at home. Ask your parents to maybe you get screen time when you do pro-social behavior. Maybe you, if you do one of your siblings' chores, maybe you get one-on-one time with your parents or something like that, okay? And we don't want to do it, of course, to get something out of it, but parents, we can make it fun for our kiddos too when we see that they're trying hard to implement these excellent tools, okay? Alrighty, thank you guys so much. I think you've got some information coming up about surveys and things like that.
Okay, so we are going to have a survey that you need to fill out and you'll find it in your chat. Nasambi, did you get that in there yet?
I just put that in the chat there, Tanya.
Okay. So we'll give you a few minutes to fill out.